Good morning, gentlemen. This is a lesson video on Chapter 8 of The Outsiders. Before we begin, please prepare your highlighters and colored pens. Do make sure that you are taking down annotations and, more importantly, think through the concerns and issues that S.E. Hinton would like you to understand through this text. If you have any other thoughts and opinions on the text, do take them down as well. Your thoughts are equally valuable when it comes to the study of the text. Themes are the big issues and ideas that are raised. This is a quick recap on the themes that we'll be exploring in The Outsiders. Family love, gang rivalry, class differences, brotherhood, loyalty, family struggles, identity, appearance versus reality, and the prejudice and discriminations faced by the different gangs. In these 2 pages, we will begin to see the struggles that the greasers faced in their attempt to visit Johnny at the hospital. It is also the spark of tension between the Stocks and Greasers as they witness the suffering that Johnny is undergoing. At the bottom of page 124, we see the repeated motif of grease. The grease is symbolic in affirming Johnny of his identity as a greaser as he reunites with his fellow greasers at the hospital. The big rumble, however, refers to the street fight between the gangs stemmed from the pent-up conflict within and the revenge that has to be accounted for. The rumble is also a tussle for power between the gangs in the streets. On the next page, in 125, we begin to see the suffering that Johnny goes through. Through the use of simile as pale as a pillow, it suggests that Johnny is feeling extremely weak and uncomfortable. Later in the page, the repeated motif through the use of the book Gone with the Wind is symbolic as it signifies the pursuit for understanding between the gangs and also softening the disputes caused by the lack of knowing one another and the differences amongst different groups of people. This also parallels with the lives of the Stocks and Greasers within society, and it is Johnny's hope, like what is shown in the Gone with the Wind, to see more peace-loving between the 2 different groups. Yet, we also see the tight-knitted nature of the greasers through the language and tone adopted by the characters in the text. With reference to page 126, we can see that the greasers are extremely affected by the pitiful state that Johnny is in. When Ponyboy said that Johnny will be okay in fake cheerfulness, it shows that Pony was trying to be positive and happy for Johnny. Yet, he also says that the greasers cannot get along without Johnny, in a yearning tone. What is Ponyboy yearning for? I want you to also think about why does he want Johnny to be well? Yes, we can say that it is the want of having a complete group of greasers and that Johnny plays a significant role in making the group complete. But it is also the deep connection that Ponyboy shares with Johnny through all the tribulations that they had to overcome since the murder of Bob. Through that, they had definitely created a stronger and tighter relationship that they cannot do without the other. Later, we also see that Pony commanded himself to stop and don't start crying. The word commanded suggests that he is firm in ensuring that he is strong for Johnny in his time of pain and suffering. As readers, we also see the struggles and limitations that a greaser goes through, that one is often confined or trapped within their own neighborhood. But it is also this very neighborhood that teaches them about the ways of living and surviving in the ghetto. In page 127, Ponyboy says that 16 years on the streets and you can learn a lot, but all the wrong things, not the things you want to learn. It suggests that growing up as a greaser, one sees a lot of the nasty side to life, and it shapes the individual regardless of how much one would dislike it. Furthermore, when Pony says, but all the wrong sides, not the sides you want to see, shows that they cannot avoid most of the hardship and suffering. Hence, they have to be courageous and overcome all the obstacles that comes their way every time. There is also a sense of helplessness in the stage which they live in. In this page, we also begin to see the family struggles that Johnny faces through the strained relationship that he shares with his mother. When Johnny said, "Tell me about all the trouble I'm causing her and about how glad her and her old man will be when I'm dead," his insistent and firm tone suggests that he is extremely hurt by the experiences that he faces at home. It can also be seen as Johnny resigns to the fate of his own life and the family he was born into, one that lacks love and affection, qualities of family which he never experience or explore in the household. In page 128, we see the description of Johnny's mother, which gives the readers insight of who she is as a character. She is rather feisty and unapproachable, and this is seen through the tone that she adopts as she speaks to the fellow greasers. In page 130, the portrayal of Two-Bit reflects the role of hoodlums to remain superior and intimidating towards the others. The symbolic use of the switchblade and the way it is described as a prized possession suggests how valuable and precious it is to a hood. Moreover, the impression of being intimidating is heightened when Two-Bit attempts to keep its razor sharp, and what do you think is its intent of doing so? Not only is it an attempt to instill fear in his opponents, it is also making the attack swifter, which could result in dire consequences during the rumble. On the next page, we will see the role of Derry as a member of the gang and a brother to Ponyboy. It is evident that he adopts a protective attitude towards them and also portrays himself as a charismatic character. In page 132, we see the sacrifices that Derry had to make as well as the opportunities he had to miss in order to take on the role of the oldest brother. This is reiterated when he states, the only reason Derry couldn't be a sock was us. He protects his younger brothers and provided for them through finances and protection on the streets, and the cost for doing so is to give up everything else that was being offered to him. A sock is someone who is athletic, intelligent, educated, and refined. It seems that Derry does adopt some of the attitudes towards life through his growth as a person. In this page, it also highlights the possibilities of death that is frequently taking place in the neighborhood. Through Ponyboy's deathly fear that something was going to happen that none of us could stop, is a use of foreshadowing by S.C. Hinton. Later in the text, readers witness the death of Dallas, and it was evident then that no one could stop it from happening. In page 134, we begin to see the rivalry between Socks and Greasers, which are largely stemmed from the death of Bob.